Show. It's so great to have you guys on this beautiful weekend. I hope your weekend is off to a fantastic start. No matter where you are in this world, no matter what you're doing, we hope you are having a blessed day. Welcome into the show. Butt Fumble Sports. We'll be talking some NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, and a full slate of MLB that gets started with afternoon baseball. So we're up, we're early, and we're across all of our platforms right now. TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and Instagram Live. Make sure you're following, make sure you're subscribing, make sure you're a member of the best community of sports fans across all of social media. Good morning, welcome. Butt Fumble Sports is a sports content company created by a sports fan for you sports fans at home. We rant about what's going on in the sports world. We do research live on the show to answer questions about sports betting, player prop bets, as well as fantasy sports. And of course, we just try to get the most out of every sports day because we are sports junkies here. Tie us off, inject some sports into our veins. We'll be high on that all day long. Appreciate you guys being with us. Jay, Phillies really did mess us up last night. Everything else was looking good, Jay, but the Phillies, to me, I all blame it on the umpire who ejected Bryce Harper in the first inning. I feel like there needs to be a rule. Now that we have sports betting legalized across the sports world, ejections need to have boundaries. Bryce Harper talking to an umpire politely. Bryce Harper wasn't aggressive. He didn't say one of the dirty words you're not allowed to say, and the umpire ejects him in the top of the first inning. That dramatically changed everything about that Phillies and Rockies game. As a bettor, nothing I can do. My money's already been put on the table and the sports books have taken it. But that said, that umpire has enormous control over the outcome of that game. And besides that, if you're a fan who went to a Phillies and Rockies game in Colorado, don't you want to see Bryce Harper for more than just one at-bat? I think umpires, referees in the NBA, there needs to be some kind of rule, some kind of standard for ejections, or otherwise, there is going to be some shady-ass shit that goes down in the coming years. Because wouldn't you know that that referee happened to be reffing a game, and that player's total went below. It's just going to get nutty. Gonna get nutty. There needs to be some standards across sports. So yes, Phillies let us down yesterday. We'll see if they're a good bet today. Speaking of our bets, we're going to do our research live on the show. For those new to Butt Fumble Sports, we do our research every single day live on the show. If you're watching on Instagram Live or TikTok Live, we're not going to show you my screen because the algorithm prefers a human face. So that's what we give you guys. However, if you want to switch over to YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, you can see my screen live on your computer or live on your phone, and you can see our big board with all the picks we're going to be making today. You can see us do our research using Outlier. Outlier is a sports betting research tool that allows us to look at trends, the market, how bets are coming down, and a lot of the player prop bets. We'll also be using killersports.com to dive into the trends, the various variables that we care about in terms of making our sports bets. So if you're cool just listening to the show on Instagram Live, on TikTok Live, thank you so much. We love having you a part of the audience. If you do want to see everything that goes down during the show, flip on over to YouTube. Great way to watch everything that we're going to be doing. Let's get into some of your questions right now. Appreciate all of you guys being with us. I'm going to give the honor of the first question of the day to Parker Hill. Parker Hill 28 is asking about Mets on the money line. Let's talk some MLB to get us started. Mets are starting first pitch 140 today. They're going up against the San Francisco Giants. We accurately told you yesterday, Giants plus 1.5 wasn't looking good for a majority of the game as the Mets jumped out to a lead, but slowly but surely, Giants chipped away and ultimately took that lead. Giants are once again an underdog in this game. However, much like yesterday, the money's coming down on the Giants. 73% of the tickets that have been bet on this game are on the Mets. 53% of the money is on the San Francisco Giants to win. So let's take a look at how the Giants are thus far this year. Under certain scenarios, like when they're coming off a win and they're an away dog. So far we got to switch over to MLB, forgive me. By the way, forgive me, I'm just going off of trends, data, and analytics. If you don't trust me, you just don't trust data. It's totally fine if you want to fade data and fade trends. I actually don't think it's a terrible idea. Most trends, or as we would say, streaks, are made to be broken. However, what I would also say is, if you don't trust me, great, then don't watch me, see? You can just watch something else. With that said, let's get back to our research. Let's go Giants after a win when they're an away dog so far this year. They're 3-2 straight up, 4-1 on the run line, and the over is 4-0-1. I make note, obviously, of that over going 4-0-1, but the fact that the Giants are 4-1 on the run line in the scenario that they have today, certainly something that I like. Let's flip it on over and let's look at the Mets. Mets, when they are at home as a favorite, coming off a loss. So far this year, the Mets under that scenario, 6-5 straight up. They've actually won 6 of their last 7. However, the Mets are 2-9 on the run line. So the Giants, under today's scenario, came off a win yesterday, road dog today. They're 4-1 on the run line. Same scenario, but flip it around for the Mets. They're 2-9 on the run line. So Giants on the run line, certainly getting our attention to at least start our research. Let's take a look at the starters for this game. We're going to look at Jordan Hicks first. Jordan Hicks is starting for the San Francisco Giants. Giants are 5-5 in his start so far this year. When he's been on the road, good news for, again, Giant run line bettors. Giants are 3-1 on the run line. When Jordan Hicks starts, the over is also 3-0-1. So based on the trends we're seeing for the Giants, the over and covering a +1.5 run line is advantageous. Again, though, let's see it from the Mets side of things. We're not locking in a pick just yet. Luis Severino, how has he pitched so far this year? Mets are 3-6 in his 9 starts. Really interesting to note. Regardless of location, the Mets are 2-7 on the run line when Luis Severino is on the mound. All things are pointing towards Giants +1.5. When Severino pitches at home this year, he does have the 2 covers. The 2 run line covers in his starts both came at home. I wish that wasn't the case. Not going to make me too concerned. Just want to go through one more trend before I do anything else. How have the Mets done against right-handed starters? Just curious, how have they done against right-handed starters? They actually have a losing record, 17-21. They're 16-22 on the run line. Interesting note there. How about when they face a right-handed starter in a day game? So far this year in day games, they're 7-10 straight up, 5-12 on the run line. The over is also 11-5-1. Marcus, what website gives you these stats? Right now, I'm using killersports.com. Killersports.com allows me to dive into all of the data that's available on Baseball Reference, Basketball Reference, those websites that have a ton of data. Killersports.com, I can build the formula like an Excel spreadsheet that pulls out this data. You just need to know how to manipulate it. So for this search, I'm going this season with the Mets as the team when they're facing an opposing pitcher who's a right-handed starter and they play that team during the day. 7-10 straight up, 5-12 on the run line. Really quick to cap that off. When that's been at home, guys, you're going to love this trend. All of the trends we've been looking at for this game favor the Giants on the run line. I got one more for you. When the Mets face a right-handed starter at home in a day game, they are 1-8. 1-8 on the run line. First pick we're going to put on the board for today's action is Giants +1.5. Giants +1.5 is the bet we're going to go with. I know a couple of you thought I might go Giants on the money line. I'm not quite there with that. I could talk myself. All the data we were seeing was about the run line, not the money line. I'm going to stick with what the data tells me. I'm not going to make assumptions. Giants +1.5. In fact, I'm going to add that to my shopping cart. One of the tools that we use to do our research is Outlier. Outlier has a feature where I can connect my sports books and literally click on every bet that I like. So Giants +1.5, add it to my picks when I'm done with the show. I can literally just have them all put in one place, go to my sports book and bet it. So Outlier, big fan of it. Andy Robles, what's the juice on Giants run line? Right now, Giants +1.5 is available at -175 on ESPN Bet, BetMGM. For FanDuel and DraftKings, It's between minus 182 and minus 185. Again, I'm going to try and give you the bets that I think are going to cash. So I understand sometimes they're not the most advantageous in terms of odds, but what I would say is if you put them together in two-leg parlays, if you bet the ones that I like the most or I feel the most confident about, usually a good approach, but I will warn you guys, I'm not someone who's always looking for the best odds. I'm looking for cashing tickets. I'm looking for bets I think are going to win. Austin says it right there, minus 175 is one of the spots you could get it. Dabber Doodle, happy to hear it. Do I have a parlay for this game? Well, what's interesting is I'm kind of fluctuating on the over-under, but I don't have strong conviction on the over for that one. I'm leaning towards the over, not going to take it, don't have enough confidence in it. That said, let's take a quick look at this game from a player prop bet perspective. And you guys know what I've been looking at almost every day is players that I think are going to add a hit. One guy to keep your eye on before I actually look at the stats. I should look at the stats first. Against Jordan Hicks. Against Jordan Hicks, Pete Alonso is 1 for 3 against right-handed pitchers this year. Pete Alonso's hitting 255. But the reason I bring up Pete Alonso, he has a hit in 9 of his last 10 games. So Pete Alonso, 9 straight games with a hit. How about when that game is at home? Pete Alonso has a hit. In fact, Pete Alonso has a hit in 4 of his last 6 games. All 4 games, he had multiple hits. Now, against a right-handed starter at home, it's actually not a great trend, so I don't want to overload you guys with that. How about Jeff McNeil? Jeff McNeil against a right-handed pitcher? Not good enough. Let's flip it over. From the Giants side, anyone hit Severino well? Yaz does. Mike Yastrzemski. Estrada hits him well. Really nothing that I like enough from this game in terms of a player prop bet. I'm going to avoid this one. Giants and Mets. Not going to take a player prop bet. The first bet we're giving out for today's show is Giants plus 1.5. That's San Francisco Giants plus 1.5. Appreciate you guys being with us no matter what website you're watching on, no matter the platform you're watching on. We're live right now on Instagram Live, TikTok Live, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Wonderful to have you guys with us every day. Sal, it is a beautiful day in New York. I'm in New York right now myself. If you have a ticket to this Mets game, I am jealous because Citi Field is going to be perfect today. I am actually wishing I had a ticket for today's game. I'm not going to lie. Zion is asking about Cubs on the money line. Johnny Shine, I see Braves on the money line. Let's do some quick research around those 2 games. Those will be the next that we focus on. First, Cubs-Cardinals game is the first one we're going to focus on. Cubs and Cardinals. Cubs and Cardinals has a first pitch that is at 7:15. Money's coming down on the Cubs. 67% of the tickets are on the Cardinals to win, but 65% of the money is on the Cubs to win. So very important to note, the money is favoring the Cubs. Let's dive into some trends on this one. Let's look at the Cubs when they are coming off a win in the previous game. Cubs coming off a win in the previous game. Actually coming off a loss in the previous game. So when the Cubs are coming off a loss and they're on the road, they are 9-4 straight up. They are 8-5 on the run line. The under is 9-3-1. You heard that correct. Under's been a very good play when the Cubs are on the road coming off a loss. How about when the Cardinals are coming off a win and they are at home? Cardinals coming off a win at home so far this year are 4-5 straight up, 5-4 on the run line. The over slightly better at 5-3-1. Not crazy about that. How about when the Cubs face a right-handed starter and they're on the road? So far this year, the Cubs are 11-9 straight up under that scenario, 13-7 on the run line. Under slightly better at 12-8. Let's flip it on over. And let's see it from the Cardinals' perspective. Cardinals, when they face a right-handed starter, but they're at home, 7-8 straight up, 9-6 on the run line, under slightly better at 8-7, though the over had a really good stretch there in early May. Haven't seen anything that really stands out to me. Miles Mikolas is on the mound for this one for the Cubs. So far, or sorry, for the Cardinals rather. Mikolas, we mentioned this yesterday. Under's been a better play in his starts. Under is 7-3 in his starts. On the other side, Jameson Taillon on the mound for the Cubs. Let's take a quick look at that one. Jameson Taillon on the mound for the Cubs. So far this year, Cubs are 4-2 in his starts. Under has performed better at 4-2. What's interesting about this game is, frankly, because of the situation yesterday, it kind of pushes some of my thoughts from yesterday to today. I like the Cubs, not just on the run line. I do like the Cubs to win. I'll take the Cubs on the money line. Cubs on the money line. If you want to do a parlay, Giants plus 1.5 and Cubs plus 1.5 is actually a nice 2-leg parlay with a couple of underdogs on the run line. But I have enough confidence that the Cubs are going to get this win. Cubs on the money line is what I'm going to go with. Stats kind of back it up, so I do like that. When the Cubs are an underdog on the road after a loss this year, 6-4 straight up, 7-4 on the run line. When the Cubs are an underdog overall this year, as an away underdog, they're 12-6 on the run line. I can understand if some of you guys are like, man, I just want to take them plus 1.5. I totally get it. So I will say Cubs plus 1.5. That would be a parlay play for me, but I do like that Cubs money line play on its own. Additionally, I would take Cubs and I would take Cardinals and I would take the under. Cubs and Cardinals for the under. Now the weather for this game, just looking at ballparkpal.com, does favor... It actually is kind of in the middle. Oh, it favors the under. Forgive me. According to ballparkpal.com, which is a website that runs thousands of simulations on every baseball game every day, giving us a sense of if everything went according to the data, how would things play out. The weather blowing in from right field, likelihood of home runs down 17%, likelihood of runs down 7%. So I'm going to add this on. I'll take the Cubs plus the 1.5. I'll also take the under. This opened at 8.5, went down to 8, came back up to 8.5. Tells me a little something about the marketplace. I like the under 9.5. So Cubs, Cardinals, under 9.5. That's another one that's going up on the board. Really quick, any player prop bets from this game that we may want to invest in. We're going to jump on over to Outlier. Just take a quick look at how these teams have performed against the starting pitchers. Dansby Swanson, really good numbers against Miles Michaelis. Dansby Swanson, Christopher Morel, Nico Horner. Nico Horner, though, his hits is set at 1.5. Don't like that. Against right-handed pitchers this year, Nico Horner is one of the better hitters against right-handed pitching. That's kind of interesting there. Personally, Dansby Swanson, can I get Dansby Swanson over half a hit? Dansby Swanson over half a hit at minus 225. He has a hit in 3 straight games against right-handed pitching. Only a hit in 5 of his last 10. On the road, though, against right-handed pitching, 7 of his last 10. Kind of interesting there. On the road against Cardinals, right-handed starters. I'm going to add this to the big board. Dansby Swanson over half a hit. Now, it would be a parlay play. So, again, maybe you take Cubs plus 1.5, Dansby Swanson over half a hit. That would be a 2-leg parlay that I would encourage just based on the data that we just looked at. Certainly like that. Kind of interested about that bet. Christopher Morel is another one, in case you guys are curious. Now, on the other side, who hits Jameson Taillon well? Nolan Arenado. Nolan Arenado, 5 for 10 lifetime against Jameson Taillon. He also is hitting 290 against righties so far this year. Nolan Arenado over half a hit. That's not, again, in terms of odds, it's actually not bad. It's minus 205. Given who he is and the reputation, not bad. Against right-handed pitching, he has a hit in 6 of his last 10 games. Against right-handed pitching at home, 7 of his last 10. Really, 7 of his last 6. I'll put this one up on the board as well. Nolan Arenado over half a hit. Would be probably a same-game parlay kind of play for me as well. So those are 2 players I like to get a hit in that Cubs and Cardinals game. Here's a quick recap of the picks we've made so far. We like Giants plus 1.5. Cubs on the money line. If you're looking for a same-game parlay, Cubs plus 1.5. Again, that would be a parlay play. I also like Cubs and Cardinals under 9.5. For some player prop bets, Dansby Swanson over half a hit and Nolan Arenado over half a hit. Now, I know I was asked a little bit earlier about the Braves on the money line, and I promised I'd get to that next. Don't worry, we'll get to your questions. We're going to do our research across all of sports today. So if you're asking a question, don't worry, we'll get to it. Braves are coming off one hell of an ugly loss yesterday. And what's interesting is the market still tends to favor the Pirates this morning. So yes, 78% of the tickets that have been bet on the money line are on the Braves. But only 56% of the money is on the Braves. 44% of the money is actually on the Pirates. So again, 22% of the bets are on the Pirates to win, but 44% of the money is on the Pirates to win. Whenever we see money outpacing tickets in a certain direction, we keep our eye on that. Now, when it comes to the spread, it's all favoring the Braves. 90% of tickets, 96% of money, so the market pretty solid there on the spread, favoring the Braves. The over getting a bit more love in terms of money over tickets, so we'll keep our eye on that. Now, what I want to look at is when the Braves are coming off a loss where the margin was greater than 4. When the margin was greater than 4. Forgive me. Did I get this right? I don't know if I did. Margin greater than 4? Oh, did they only lose? Did they only lose by 3 runs last night? What was the final score of that game? Forgive me, I'm kind of curious. Maybe I'm getting the score wrong. Final score for that game. Sorry, I'm looking up Pirates and Braves. No, final score was 6 runs. What's that about? What am I missing? Greater than -4? Sometimes I research something in the data and I get it wrong. That would be interesting. Anyways, let's see. I'll put it this way. When the opponent runs are greater than 8, the Braves have played 4 games this year where in the previous game they allowed at least 8 runs. They allowed more than 8 runs and went 2-2 the following day. They've actually gone 5-3 when it's equal to 8 runs. Kind of interesting. Okay, let's just say Braves, after a loss as an away favorite so far this year, Braves are 5-2 straight up, 5-2 on the run line, 3-1 on the over-under. Okay. Nothing that stands out there, really. How about the Pirates? Really quick, when the Pirates, in the previous game, scored 8 runs or more, Pirates are 2-5 straight up, but 5-2 on the run line. And again, this speaks to a little bit of why the Pirates are getting some love. So the Pirates have lost the last 5 games in a row when they scored 8 runs in the previous day's game. However, they're 5-2 on the run line. They've actually covered the run line in their last 3 straight games, so kind of interested by that. Specifically, when they're at home under that scenario, only happened once so far this year. They lost 5-4 to the Cubs. So again, kind of interesting there. Covered the run line. Ended up being a push on the over-under. Really quick though, Pirates, after a win as a home dog so far this year, 2-3 straight up, 4-1 on the run line. A lot of the data showing that the Pirates to cover the run line is a decent play. Kind of curious about that. This game today, 4:05 start. That qualifies as a day game. I'm just kind of curious, when the Pirates have played at home during the day, 5-8 straight up, 4-9 on the run line. Wish that were a little bit better. How about when they were a home dog in a day game? 2-3 straight up, 3-2 on the run line. So it's really when they're a home favorite in day games. That's been the worst stat. How about when the Braves are an away favorite during a day game? Again, we're just combing through the stats if we see anything. Braves are 7-3 straight up, 6-4 on the run line. Under is 5-4-1. Let's take a look at these starters. Reynaldo Lopez is on the mound for the Braves. When Reynaldo Lopez has started for Atlanta so far this year, Braves are 5-3 straight up, 3-5 on the run line. Under is 6-2. when Lopez has pitched on the road. 1-2 straight up, 1-2 on the run line. The under is 3-0. Kind of interesting that the under has been a better play there. Weather for this game between the Braves and the Pirates, likelihood of rain. This game could be delayed because of rain. The wind is blowing out. Likelihood of home runs up 4%. Likelihood of runs up 9%. But again, chance of rain, which could alter the weather depending on when they get it in. Now, on the other side of the pitching matchup is Mitch Keller. Mitch Keller on the mound for the Buccos in his 10 starts this year. Pirates are 6-4 straight up, 6-4 on the run line. They've won the last 3 in a row when he's been on the mound. Over/under is split at 5-5. When Keller has pitched at home this year, 2-2 straight up, 2-2 on the run line. Over/under's 2-2. How about when he's been an underdog this year? When Mitch Keller's pitched as an underdog, interesting to note, Pirates 4-1 straight up when Keller pitches as an underdog, 4-1 on the run line. The over is 4-1 as well. How about when Ronaldo Lopez is pitched as the favorite this year? Happened 8 times this year, 5-3 straight up, 3-5 on the run line. Under is 6-2. Really tricky one for me on this. I don't really want to bet against the Braves 2 days in a row, given the fact that coming off of yesterday's blowout loss. But there's some value on the Pirates, plus 1.5. It's at minus 115 right now. What stands out to me even more is the fact that because it's minus 115, I actually can get it at a really favorable spot. Pirates plus 2.5 is minus 180. We already talked a moment ago about the Pirates. When the Pirates are coming off a win, and they're a home dog so far this year, they're 4-1 on the run line. The one game that they failed to cover the spread, it was a 3-run difference. That was back April 5th against the Orioles. Interesting to note. How about when the Pirates are coming off a win and then it's a day game, anything to that? 9-3 on the run line. I like the Pirates to cover. Pirates plus 2.5. Again, minus 180. It is available on ESPN Bet at minus 180. DraftKings at minus 208. FanDuel at minus 210. Again, it would be a parlay play. I'm not saying that you guys should do it on its own. Not enough return on the investment. But if you're telling me I can get Pirates plus 2.5, I can put that into a parlay, and it can bring my 2-leg parlay to even money, that's not a bad bet. Pirates plus 2.5, again, I'll put that into a same game. I'll put that into a parlay. Cubs plus 1.5, Pirates plus 2.5. You could do Giants plus 1.5, Cubs plus 1.5, Pirates plus 2.5. There's a lot to do here, given we have some underdogs that we actually like today. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are loving the content, loving the conversation. If you do, hit the follow button no matter where you're watching. Instagram Live, TikTok Live, YouTube, Twitch, or Kick. We are so grateful for you guys watching the show every day. Make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're with us every time we go live. Chase Green, what do you think about Rangers Twins over 7.5? Over 7.5 for Rangers and Twins. This game is getting started at 2:10. Tickets favor the over. Under slightly better when it comes to the money, but not by much. Over/under is 8.5. Let's look at some stats for this one. Rangers are an away favorite. It is a day game. How have they done under that scenario? Oh, they're an away dog. Forgive me. I didn't realize that they were an away dog today. Rangers as an away dog. 2-3 straight up, 2-3 on the run line. The over/under is 3-2. Nothing really I can take from that. When the Rangers are coming off a loss in the previous day's game and they are an away favorite, they are 6-6 straight up this year, 7-5 on the run line. Under slightly better at 6-5-1. Rangers have actually lost their last 4 games coming off a loss when they're an away dog. They've lost 5 of their last 6. Rangers have been really struggling this year. We talked about it yesterday. They have been maybe the most disappointing team in baseball. I know they're coming off a World Series championship, so it makes it a little bit easier, I guess. But Twins coming off a win when they play a day game the following day. 8-6 straight up, 8-6 on the run line. Not too much from that. When those games are played at home, 3-3 straight up, 3-3 on the run line, 3-3 on the over/under. So again, nothing we could take from that. How about when they're a home favorite coming off a win? 7-5 straight up, 5-7 on the run line, 6-6 on the over/under. Nothing we're seeing thus far that gets us excited. How about the Rangers on the road against a right-handed pitcher? 9-10 straight up, 9-10 on the run line. They've lost their last 4 in a row against a right-handed starter on the road. How about when they've been an underdog against a right-handed starter? 6-9 straight up. They've actually lost their last 5 straight games against a right-handed starter as a dog. They've only won 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. They are 2-8 in their last 10 games against a right-handed starter. Who ever thought the Rangers would be that bad offensively? Certainly not me. Let's take a look at the Twins. Twins at home, facing a right-handed starter so far this year. 10-9 straight up, 7-12 on the run line. Under slightly better at 10-8-1. Haven't seen anything yet that really gets me excited about betting this game. Really haven't seen anything that gets me excited about the total, which is where our question was coming from. Chris Paddock, the starting pitcher of the Twins this year, 6-3 when he starts, 6-3 on the run line. Under is 5-4 and has been slightly better of late. The under is hit in 3 of his last 4 starts. Specifically, when Chris Paddock pitches at home in Minnesota, the Twins are 4-1 straight up, 4-1 on the run line. The under is 4-1. So we're finally finding a case, at least for the Twins, a little bit more on both the run line and on the money line. The under looking a little bit better. Michael Lorenzen is on the mound for the Rangers. Any value given his stats? Let's take a look at that. Michael Lorenzen has made 7 starts this year. He's lost his last 5 straight starts for the Rangers. He's 2-5 straight up, 2-5 on the run line. Under is once again a good play at 4-2-1. When Lorenzen pitches on the road this year, 2-2, so both of his wins came on the road. 2-2 on the run line as well. Under is 2-1-1. Not crazy about this game. If I had to go in any direction, I might actually take that under. I'm not going to bet this one, but to the question that was posed, if I would take this under 9, under 9.5, that's where I'm kind of coming down on this. According to ballparkpal.com, the weather for the Rangers game is going to favor the under very slightly. Likelihood of home runs down 6%, likelihood of runs overall down 3%. According to their simulations, they're thinking it's around 9.5 runs. So personally, I think if I did anything for this game, I'd probably take Twins on the money line and I'd take under 9.5. But I just don't like it enough to add it to the big board, so I will avoid this bet. Twins, Rangers, I'm not going to place a bet. Not enough confidence. Not enough variables pointing me in the same direction. Again, a quick repeat for you guys watching, though. If you put a gun to my head and you were like, Butt Fumble Sports, you either give us a pick for this game or your brain's on the wall. I'd go, okay, I'll take Twins on the money line. I'll take under 9.5. And if you were like, all right, the gun's actually made of chocolate, I'd be like, don't bet it. Don't do it. So anyways, that's where I come down on this game. Really quick, let's look at some player prop bets for this Twins and Rangers game. Again, we're going to be focusing on over half a hit in his career. By the way, IP Shade 45, I put a challenge out there. I did like a ton of roses instead of doing a normal gift. I put it at 500 roses because I was like, let's see if we can actually get the Butt Fumble Sports community to throw some roses on the stage. But we'll see if I get my flowers throughout the show. So a couple of hitters who have hit Chris Paddock well in their career. Corey Seager. Corey Seager is 4 for 10 lifetime with a home run and 2 RBIs as IP Shade is flooding the stage with roses. Corey Seager is also hitting .281 against right-handed pitching. Love to see that. So Corey Seager, can I get any value on Corey Seager? By the way, thanks guys so much for the roses. Really appreciate you guys supporting the show. So Corey Seager, over half a hit. Not available, unfortunately. It's only available on Prize Picks and FanDuel. He does have a hit in 9 of his last 10 games. Over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs isn't even available. He's hit that in 5 straight games. Corey Seager is on fire right now, actually. Against right-handed pitching on the road, he's gone over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs in 6 of his last 10 games on the road against a right-handed pitcher. By the way, thanks for all the roses, guys. I appreciate you. So with that said, Corey Seager, love him, but don't see any place I could get him really right now. But if you can find Corey Seager over half a hit or over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, jump on that shit. Michael Lorenzen, how have hitters done against him? Carlos Santana. Carlos Santana of the Twins is 3 for 9 in his career, but 2 of those 3 hits were home runs. So 9 at-bats, only 3 hits, but 2 of those 3 hits were home runs. Problem is Carlos Santana is hitting just 176 against right-handed pitchers. Don't like that, but I am saying if you want a long shot, Carlos Santana, keep your eye on him. But really the only hitter I really like from this game, Corey Seager, just don't have a market for him, given the fact that the sportsbooks are being smart about protecting his bet. Let's get to some of these other bets. Some people are asking me about a no run in the first inning. No run in the first inning. Giants, Mets. Giants and Mets. No run in the first inning. Giants and Mets. No run in the first inning. Blue Jays, no run in the first inning. I don't know. I could see it. I'm leaning towards it, but I don't like it enough. I like Giants and Mets way more. Giants and Mets, no run in the first inning. I actually think Orioles and White Sox won't have a run in the first inning. A game I do think will have a run is Braves-Pirates. Braves-Pirates over a run in the first inning. Braves and Pirates over a run in the first inning. I also like, we'll talk about Dodgers and Reds in a moment. Another game I like a run in the first inning, Rockies and Phillies. Rockies and Phillies. Run in the first inning for Rockies and Phillies. Another game I like a run in the first inning, Marlins and Diamondbacks. Marlins and Diamondbacks run in the first inning. Scott, love Seager over half a hit if you can find it, but unfortunately the market isn't there for most sports books. Cruel Finisher, you're asking about Tigers on the money line. Let's take a quick look at that game. That's the first game of the day, everybody. First pitch is at 1:10, so we'll be signing off before that game starts because we want to make sure we get our bets in. So let's take a quick look at that game. First game of the day, Toronto Blue Jays, Detroit Tigers. 64% of the tickets are on the Blue Jays to win. 62% of the money is on the Blue Jays to win, so about even there. A little bit more money on the Blue Jays to cover the 1.5 run spread. And the market for the over is exactly the same between tickets and money, 96%. Blue Jays, when they are coming off a loss in the previous day's game, 14-12, straight up 14-12 on the run line. How about when they're on a road after a loss, 8-6 straight up, 8-6 on the run line? Under is better at 9-5. When the Blue Jays are a favorite the following day after a loss on the road, 4-3 straight up, 4-3 on the run line. Under is 4-3. Nothing too crazy about what we just saw. Nothing we're going to kind of get excited about. How about when the Tigers are coming off a win and they're at home the following day? Wow. Tigers are 3-7 straight up, 3-7 on the run line. The under is 6-4. Tigers coming off a win at home, not very good. Not very good. Let's dive into Blue Jays. When the Blue Jays are facing a right-handed pitcher and they are on the road this year, Blue Jays are 10-11 straight up, 12-9 on the run line, under slightly better. When the Tigers are facing a right-handed pitcher at home this year, 9-11 straight up, 6-14 on the run line. Tigers are 6-14 on the run line facing a right-handed starter at home this year. When they're a home underdog, interesting, 2-2. So not as bad when they're a dog. When they're a favorite, it's actually really bad. When they're a home favorite against a right-handed starter, they're 3-11. Now, they aren't a home favorite today, but that's an interesting stat to kind of file away for future dates. Now, the pitching matchup in this one, Jose Berrios and Reese Olson. Jose Berrios, when he is on the mound so far this year, Blue Jays are 7-3 in his starts, 7-3 on the run line. The under is 7-3 as well. Really quickly, taking a look at the weather in that game, likelihood of runs is up 7% in Blue Jays and Tigers. Keep your eye on that. When Jose Berrios has pitched on the road this year, Blue Jays are 4-2 straight up, 4-2 on the run line, 4-2 favoring the under. How about when Reese Olson takes the mound for the Tigers? Reese Olson has made 9 starts this year. The Tigers are 1-8 in his starts. The Tigers are 1-8 when Reese Olson starts. They've lost their last 8 games in a row. You heard that right. They've lost their last 8 games in a row. And it gets even worse when Reese Olson pitches at home. He is 0-3 straight up. Kind of interesting. 0-3 straight up. 0-3 on the run line. But 2 of those games were 1-0 losses. So they lost 1-0 to the Rangers on April 15th. 1-0 to the Marlins on May 14th. And he had an 8-0 loss mixed in on April 26th. So kind of interesting there. Thus far, the trends are favoring the Blue Jays and favoring the under. I'm not going to bet the total on this one. Feels a little shady. Don't love the under enough, I think. It's close. Man, every trend right now is favoring the under. I'm going to go with it. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the Blue Jays on the money line. Do I like it? I like it enough. Blue Jays on the money line. And I'll take Blue Jays and I'll take Tigers. And I'm going to take the under. Blue Jays, Tigers. I'm going to go under on this. Now, I'm going out on a limb. But I'll take the under at... This opened at 8, went down to 7.5, came back up to 8.5. I love seeing that line movement. I'm going to say under 9.5. Under 9.5. I know, alternative line, I'm copping out. But Blue Jays and Tigers under 9.5. You could make this under 10 and put it into some parlays. I feel like that's probably a better bet. But Blue Jays, Tigers under 9.5. That's what does make my big board for this morning. Again, a quick recap of all the picks I've given out. Before I do that, if you miss any of the bets that I make every day, any of the picks that I give out during the show, all you have to do is DM me on Instagram. I give away my picks for free. I know there are a lot of people on social media that do what I'm doing now. They research sports bets or they give out picks. I never charge for my picks. I don't know what those other jokers are doing, but I never charge for my bets. I want you guys to see them. You can decide what you want to follow, what you want to fade. That's up to you. But I give away my picks every day because my attitude is, you're a sports fan just like me. I'd be doing this research on my own anyways because I love doing it. So might as well just give it away for free for those that want to see it. DM me on Instagram, Butt Fumble Sports. DM me on Instagram if you ever want to see the picks that I give out every day. They're free. They're never behind a paywall. They're always accessible. They're always transparent. So if you ever want to see my picks, Butt Fumble Sports is my handle on Instagram. DM me. I'll give them away for free every day because that's what I should be doing, right? Why would I ever put my picks behind a paywall? Unfortunately, Taylor, I can't share it on TikTok because TikTok in messages doesn't allow me to share a link. And that's actually the reason I drive you guys to Instagram. So it's actually not that I'm trying to favor one platform over another. It's that I can't share the link for SHARPZ, which shows all my picks every day on TikTok. So Taylor, tough cooks. Sorry, bud. By the way, thanks so much for the roses, guys. Appreciate the flowers. Poking the Smot joined. Poking the Smot. Love it, man. Loving it. Scott, Phillies money line. So actually, we haven't gotten to that game just yet. Feel like we should, though, right? Let's get over to Phillies on the money line, see if that's a good bet. Phillies and Rockies. Phillies really screwed the pooch yesterday. They lost 3-2 in extra innings to the Rockies. But I opened the show by bringing up the fact that I don't know if I'm blaming the Phillies on this one. Bryce Harper, ejected in the top of the first by the umpire, wasn't being overly aggressive in the argument, wasn't getting in his face, didn't say one of the words you're not allowed to say. I brought it up at the beginning of the show. Now that sports betting is everywhere, we need to keep an eye on these umpires for who they're ejecting and when they're ejecting them. Because Bryce Harper getting ejected in the first inning, it sucks for fans. For sports bettors, it's a WTF kind of moment. Like, what the hell? So anyways, let's get into the research today. Phillies are a very, very heavy favorite. Should warn you about that. Phillies minus 230 is the most favorable odds on that. Really don't like it. By the way, user 84, the umpire was dead wrong. Made me think there was something shady because the umpire was so wrong. Anyways, Rockies are getting more love right now in terms of the odds, but in terms of the market, all on the Phillies. 96% of the tickets are on the Phillies to win. 97% of the money is on the Phillies to win. Let's dive into this one, everyone. when the Phillies are coming off a loss and they're on the road as a favorite. Phillies, you're going to love this, everybody. Phillies are 6-0 this season straight up. When they are following a loss, they're an away favorite coming off a loss. 6-0 straight up, 5-1 on the run line. So not only are the Phillies a good straight up money line play, look at them on the run line based on this data. Now we're going to get into a bit more, but love seeing that. How about the Rockies? Rockies coming off a win. They're a home dog the following day. How have they done this year? 3-4 straight up, 4-3 on the run line. They've actually won their last 3 straight games under this scenario, but all 3 of those came against the Rangers in that sweep that they had a couple of days ago. So, not going to take too much from that. How about when the Phillies face a right-handed starter on the road this year? Phillies against a right-handed starter are 9-2 straight up, 8-3 on the run line. Interesting note, the under is 8-3 as well. So Phillies on the money line, Phillies on the run line, and the under right now are 3 trends that are going in the direction that we're kind of looking for. Let's flip it around. Rockies, when they're facing a right-handed starter at home this year, 8-7 straight up. Rockies are actually 10-5 on the run line against a right-handed starter at home. How about when they've been a home dog? 10-5 when they're coming off a win in the previous game. 1-4. Wow, the under's 4-1 when the Rockies face a right-handed starter at home as an underdog after a win. Again, you may go, Butt Fumble Sports, why the hell do I care about that? Maybe you don't. That's okay. But I'm looking through every piece of data to see which trends really stand out and which ones are favorable. Aaron Nola on the mound for the Phillies today. How has Aaron Nola done this year? Specifically, how have the Phillies done? Phillies are 8-2 in his starts. The under is 5-4-1. Phillies only 2 losses this year with Nola on the mound. Both came at home. When Aaron Nola's pitched on the road this year, Phillies are 4-0 straight up, 3-1 on the run line, and the under is 3-1. So all the trends are all backing the same thing right now. Phillies money line, Phillies run line, and the under. Interesting. How about when the starting pitcher for the Rockies is Dakota Hudson? So far this year, Dakota Hudson, 2-7 in his starts, and the under is 7-2. How about when Dakota Hudson pitches at home? 1-3 straight up. The under's 3-1. I'm going to look up one other trend that I'm kind of interested in. Thus far this season, when the total is greater than 10 runs and the away team is the favorite, what's the... Okay, here's an interesting note. There have been 16 games this season where the total is 10 runs, is more than 10 runs, and the away team is the favorite. Straight up 8-8, run line 6-10. What stands out to me, the under is 11-5. So the under's been a better play when the total's been 10.5. Specifically when the total's been 10.5 or more. Yeah, 5-11, away favorite. How about when that team is coming off a loss in the previous game? I'm just kind of curious now that I'm doing it. Interesting. 4-3. Anyways, this is where I'm coming down on this game. Phillies on the money line. Phillies on the money line. Same game, put that into a parlay. Phillies on the money line. I'd also take Phillies minus 1.5. I do think the Phillies get some revenge today. Phillies on the money line. Phillies minus 1.5. I like Phillies Rockies run in the first inning. I'll put that here. Phillies. Do I like it enough? I do actually. I will put it up here. Phillies, Rockies, yes to a run in the first inning. Now what I would say is I do like the under. I do like the under. I do think there's going to be a run in the first inning, but I like the under. I will take under 12.5 and put it into a parlay. So that's going to be Phillies, Rockies, under 12.5, but I put it into a parlay. So you could do a same game parlay. Phillies on the money line, Phillies, Rockies, under 12.5. That's going to get you a plus bet. I think both of those cash, which means that ticket cashes, which means money in your pocket. Let's take a quick look at some player prop bets around this game. Since we do like the Phillies as much as we do, we're going to be hunting their player prop bets. Bryce Harper, everybody. Bryce Harper has an 875 average against Dakota Hudson with a home run, 6 RBIs. Bryce Harper, after the ejection yesterday, yeah, I think Bryce Harper is going to bounce back. Can we get him over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs? No, we can't. Damn it. Bryce Harper over half an RBI. That's what I'm going to go with. Bryce Harper over half an RBI. I'm going to put this one up on the board. Bryce Harper over half an RBI. I feel like that's the best bet we can make right now based on the market that's available to us. By the way, Taylor, I take under 10.5 as well. Don't like it as much, but Hudson gets pulled early out. Gets pulled out early. Could easily happen. Could easily happen. LGP Elite, great to see you. You want to talk some basketball? We will in 1 second. Really quick though, let's do a recap of the baseball picks we put up on the board so far. And again, if you're watching on Instagram Live or TikTok Live and you want to see the big board I'm referring to, switch on over to YouTube. For Instagram Live and TikTok Live, the algorithm doesn't actually love seeing a computer screen. Shocker. It prefers seeing a human face, so I broadcast myself and just talk through the research and the picks. But if you want to see me do my research live on the screen, if you want to see my picks all on the screen, jump on over to YouTube. That's where I share my screen. YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. You can see everything that I'm doing. The big board right now includes a lot of baseball. We'll talk some basketball in 1 quick second. But here are the MLB picks we've given out so far during the show. You guys ready? You set? Let's go. First, here are the picks. We went Giants plus 1.5. That's San Francisco Giants plus 1.5. We went Cubs on the money line. Cubs on the money line, but we also like the Cubs plus 1.5 in some parlays. So if you're thinking of parlays, Giants plus 1.5, Cubs plus 1.5, both picks that we're interested in. We are also taking Cubs and Cardinals under 9.5. Cubs and Cardinals under 9.5 is the next bet we've put on the board. We have the Pirates plus 2.5. Another parlay play. That's Pirates plus 2.5. We have the Blue Jays on the money line. Blue Jays and Tigers under 9.5. We have the Phillies on the money line as a parlay play. We have the Phillies minus 1.5 on the run line. We have Phillies and Rockies yes to a run in the first inning. We have Phillies and Rockies under 12.5 runs, but put that into a parlay. So maybe you do a same game parlay. Phillies win less than 12.5 runs scored. And then for player prop bets, we have Dansby Swanson over half a hit. Nolan Arenado over half a hit. Bryce Harper over half an RBI. Those are the picks we put on the board so far. We're going to do some NBA right now. I know a lot of you guys have questions. Don't worry, we're going to get to all of them. But let's do some research on the NBA, everybody. Switching over on killersports.com over to the NBA side. Also on Outlier, flipping over to the NBA side. Now, right now, Celtics are a 7-point favorite. Important to note, the injury report. All important injury report. Couple of notes, actually. Drew Holiday is a game-time decision with an illness. That came out about an hour ago. Drew Holiday, point guard for the Celtics, game-time decision. Luke Cornett, also a game-time decision with a left wrist sprain. Kristaps Porzingis is out. He's been ruled out. There are rumors that Porzingis could be ready for Game 4, but he is absolutely out for Game 3. Now, the injury, the player everyone's talking about is Tyrese Halliburton. He is right now a game-time decision with that left hamstring soreness. We don't know just yet whether he is going to play, whether he's going to be out. Waiting on word. So I say this, and we're going to go through the trends. We're going to go through the data. But I'm going to make sure I say this now and multiple times throughout this segment. Do not bet Pacers and Celtics before the Tyrese Halliburton injury report is given, before we know if he's playing or not. If you want the Pacers. If you want the Celtics, you could buy that now, because if Halliburton ends up being out, the line's going to move. But if you like the Pacers today, do not bet just yet. There is going to be market movement based on whether Halliburton plays or does not. Depending on which kind of bet you like, be wary of when you place it. You might lose out on some return on the investment. Now, a couple of trends I want to look at for you guys. When the Celtics have had a line that's greater than -6, and they're on the road so far this year, so an away favorite of 6 points or more. An away favorite of 6 points or more. Celtics are 23-4. 23-4 straight up when they have played on the road as a favorite of 6 points or more. Now you may go, why do I care about that? You may not, but that's a lot of winning. How about when the line is between 6 points and 8 points? Right now the line's set at 7. The Celtics are 6-0 straight up, 6-0 against the spread when the spread on the road is between 6 and 8 points. Let me repeat that in case you missed it. The Celtics this year have played 6 games on the road where they've been a favorite of between 6 and 8 points. Today, right now, they're a favorite of 7, 7.5. They have gone 6-0 straight up. They've gone 6-0 against the spread, and the under is 6-0. The under is 6-0. And that actually leads me to a couple of things that I'm going to bring up. Doing my research prior to the show, Celtics money line and the under were both things that had my attention. I'm going to continue to go through the data, but those were things that really caught my eye. Now, when the Celtics are coming off a win, they're on the road as a favorite, and the total is less than 225 so far this year. 10-3 straight up, 6-7 against the spread. The over-under has split at 7-6. How about when they faced an opponent who has a winning record? 3-3 straight up, 2-4 on the run line, over-under 3-3. Let's dive into that total. The total, when it's been greater than 220, but less than 225, Celtics are 14-4 straight up, 10-7-1 against the spread, 9-9 over-under. How about the Pacers? When the Pacers have a total between 220 and 225, they're 5-2 straight up this year, 4-3 on the run line, over-unders 5-2. Pacers with a total less than 225, just playing out scenarios, and they're coming off a loss. Okay, all those games came after a loss. It's kind of interesting. When they were a dog, 225 total, and the Pacers were a dog this year. Just getting our plays. What are the MLB plays? Omar, I'll repeat them in a moment. We're focusing on the NBA at the moment. By the way, if anybody knows anyone who works at Polar Seltzer, please get them in contact with me because I'd love for them to sponsor my show. Because I drink that shit all day long. Anyways, when the Pacers are a dog and they have a total less than 225, straight up they're 2-5. Against the spread, they're 4-3. Over under 6-1 towards the over. Don't love that. Don't love that. All those games came on the road, though. When they've had a total of 225, less than 225, and the Pacers have been at home. Killersports.com going slow as hell. Pacers less than 225 total at home. Killersports.com. Don't be slow right now. Every once in a while, I get the spinning wheel of death on load. It sucks. It sucks, but let's see. Wow. When the Pacers have been at home this year and the total is less than 225, they're 6-0 straight up. Yeah. Yeah. Now that's only been in the playoffs against the Bucks and against the Knicks. Wow. To me, it's Celtics on the money line and the under, but honestly, I don't feel like that you place a bet on this game right now. There isn't value. There isn't value until we know Halliburton's situation. Because that Boston 7.5 or Boston -7. Those both are going to move if Halliburton is out. If Halliburton is in, I like the Pacers to cover. Pacers obviously at home in the playoffs have been phenomenal. How about when the Pacers have been a home dog this entire season? Man, killersports.com. When the Pacers are a home dog this year, 8-4 straight up, 8-3-1 against the spread when they're on 1 day of rest as a home dog. 5-2 against the 5-2 straight up, 5-1-1 against the spread. Right now, there's nothing on the big board where I want to back this game. Nothing about this Celtics and Pacers game has my attention. Not going to do it. There is a player prop bet that I do want to recommend to you guys. It involves Aaron Nesmith and his point total. So this is assuming Tyrese Halliburton does not play. When Tyrese Halliburton has not played this year, in the last 10 games without Halliburton, Aaron Nesmith has gone over 11.5 points 7 of the last 10 times at home. He's hit it 4 straight games. He's hit it in 6 of his last 10 games against the Celtics without Halliburton. Failed to hit it, actually. I took Aaron Nesmith over 9.5 points. I put it into a same-game parlay with Celtics on the money line. But frankly, I'm not going to put this NBA game pickup on my board because there are no consistent trends. And I say that in part because all of them are based around whether Halliburton plays or not. I don't know that yet. It's 12:05 on the East Coast, so we're not going to know that for a few hours. I might circle back to that Celtics money line underplay a little bit later, but as of right now, I'm not touching that bet until I know whether Tyrese Halliburton is playing this game or whether he's not. I feel like that's a mistake. LGP Elite, I say again, until we know who's playing. Is Drew Holiday playing? If Drew Holiday doesn't play, how does that affect Derek White? Really quick, actually, I want to see this really fast. Let's look at Derek White. When Derek White plays without Drew Holiday, say Drew Holiday is out with this illness. Not saying that's the case. In the last 10 games without Drew Holiday, Derek White's gone over 15.5 points 8 of the last 10 games. On the road, he's hit it in 6 of the last 10, really 6 of the last 8. 3-pointers made. Thanks, Squealers. Great to see you back. Here's one for you. When Drew Holiday does not play, Derek White has had 3 3-pointers or more in 7 of his last 10 games, specifically on the road, 7 of his last 10 games. So again, we don't know Drew Holiday's status. If you don't have Drew Holiday in the lineup, if he's out for some reason because this illness, Derek White would get a lot of attention in terms of value with 3-pointers made, points scored. But as of right now, we don't know the status of Drew Holiday. We don't know the status of Tyrese Halliburton. So I'm just going to avoid it for now. Chase Green, I do like TJ McConnell over half a steal, over half a block. Chase Green is right about that. TJ McConnell, over half a steal, over half a block, has actually been a very consistent play. So that is something I like. It's just not available everywhere. It's been very consistent, specifically at home. Very consistent, 8 out of the last 10 games. I'll put it on the board. I don't think it's going to be available for most of you. Maybe in a same-game parlay. But TJ McConnell, over half a block plus steal, and again, might have to be in a parlay for you guys. Jose, I like Giants plus 1.5. Giants plus 1.5. If you pushed me on it, Giants on the money line is something I actually do like. Really quick, I want to switch over to the to the NHL. Let's talk some puck, everybody. Oilers, Stars. Since we're getting away from MLB for just a couple of minutes, let's finish up and let's talk NHL. Forgive me if you guys aren't about puck, then this segment may not be for you. By the way, sometimes killersports.com is really, really slow. I always feel like it's on the hockey side of things. If it is slow, we'll switch back over to baseball fast because I do not have the patience for it. Yeah, killersports.com is failing on the hockey side. I never get this. I don't understand why the site doesn't work perfectly. I both They don't sponsor the show, actually. It's free, but I do promote it a good amount because I use it so much. But I'm not going to say killersports.com is without its glitches. It sometimes can suck a D. And I mean Detroit. That said, we're going to switch back over to baseball because the trends aren't working for that market for this game. Nothing about the Oilers Stars gets me excited just yet. I might circle back on that one when I can do my research on my own. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. We did not take Rangers on the money line. In fact, if I recommended anything, it might be the Twins, actually. But we didn't end up betting that game. Appreciate you guys watching the show. Make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're with us every time we are live. Love talking sports with you. Chase Green, can you use Hard Rock? What's Hard Rock? I can only see what... So... Killer Sport Outlier rather has deals with DraftKings, FanDuel, ESPN Bet, Caesars, and BetMGM. That's how I can see the odds. They don't have a deal with Hard Rock, so I can't see Hard Rock. And no, I'm not going to go looking up Hard Rock stats. So sorry, Chase Green. I absolutely love you, but sorry about it. I love my loyal viewers, but they also know there are certain things I can do and certain things I can't do. Astros and Oakland. Let's talk some A's and some Astros. Astros, not surprisingly, are getting the money in this one. Not too heavy a favorite, though. Minus 144 on the money line. That's not terrible. J.P. Sears on the mound for the A's might have something to do with it. Let's dive into some of the trends on this one. Astros, after a win, when they are an away favorite this year, coming off a win, Astros are just 1-3 straight up, 1-3 on the run line. The under is 3-1 as well. How about the Athletics? When the Athletics are coming off a loss and they are a home dog so far this season, the Astros 3-7 straight up, 6-4 though on the run line, and 6-4 favoring the over. Now, let's take a look at how the Astros have done against the left-handed starting pitcher on the road. Astros are facing J.P. Sears, left-handed pitcher. When they face a left-handed starter on the road this year, Astros 2-6 straight up, 2-6 on the run line. They've actually lost their last 4 straight games against a left-handed starter on the road. They've lost 5 of their last 6 games, and again, in the 8 games overall, they've lost 6 of their 8 games played under this scenario. So not something that we love to see. How about when they face a lefty on the road after a win the previous game? 1-3 straight up, 1-3 on the run line. The over is 3-1. Only thing we can take from that might be good. How about the Athletics? Let's just see how the Athletics have done when they start a left-handed pitcher on the mound this year, and they're coming off a loss. So when they start a southpaw the day after losing a game, 5-8 straight up, but 8-5 on the run line. The over slightly better at 7-6. What I'm seeing right now, based on the trends that gets me a little bit excited, is Astros money line, A's plus 1.5. There might be even more value because the A's, being who they are, you can maybe get them at 2.5. We'll have to see about that in a moment. Let's take a look at the starting pitchers, though. Spencer Arrighetti is on the mound for the Astros. How have they performed in his start so far this year? I got put in starter. When he has been on the mound, Astros are 3-4 in his starts. They've actually won 3 of the last 4. 3-4 on the run line. They are 5-2 favoring the over. Over is getting a bit more love. Kind of interesting there. On most of the things we're looking at, over 7.5 runs, over 8 seems to be a decent play. Let's take a look at it from the other side. J.P. Sears. When J.P. Sears has been on the mound for the A's, 4-6 straight up, 7-3 on the run line, though. The under slightly better at 6-4. How about when J.P. Sears has pitched at home this year? The A's, when J.P. Sears is at home, 2-2 straight up, 3-1 on the run line, though. 2-2 on the over-under. Right now, if you took the A's plus 2.5, minus 213, that's what I'm going to put on the board, everybody. So look, I understand that the market is favoring the Astros on the money line. I might take Astros on the money line as well, but frankly, the Athletics plus 2.5, that's what I'm going to take. Put it into a parlay, but Athletics plus 2.5. Do I like betting the A's? Not really, but the A's plus 2.5 is a very good play. Based on the data, based on what we just went through, Astros have struggled against left-handed starters. The A's have done well coming off a loss with a left-handed starter on the mound. How about the A's when they faced a right-handed starter after a loss? The Athletics this year are 10-12 on the run line in that scenario. How about when they're at home, facing a right-handed starter after a loss at home, 5-5 straight up, 5-5 on the run line. The over/under, I feel like over is a better play. I would take it over 7. You can get over 7 at minus 200. So I'll do that. I'll take Astros, Athletics. Really quick, though, I want to see the weather. I don't like it enough. The weather is kind of fading me from it. If I had to go anywhere on the over/under, I'd go over 7, over 7.5. Don't like it enough, though. So I'll take Athletics plus 2.5. Take a bit of risk there. If you want to play it safe, Astros on the money line. Here's the problem for me. I kind of want to take the Astros on the money line just because they're good value. Right now they're being offered at like minus 144, but frankly the trends back the Athletics to cover. So kind of a split play on that. Don't have great confidence really on too many spots there. Someone was asking earlier about the Brewers and the Red Sox. Brewers coming off a win on the road. This game is a 4:10 start. So when the Brewers are on the road after a win in a day game this year, 7-4 straight up, 8-3 on the run line. The over is 8-3. How about the Red Sox coming off a loss at home, playing a day game the following day? Red Sox so far this year, 3-0 straight up, 3-0 on the run line under that scenario. So the Red Sox have been very good at home after a loss when they play a day game. How about after a loss at home overall? 5-7 straight up, 4-8 on the run line. Why does that matter to me? Because they actually perform better in day games after a loss at home than they do just at any time of the day. In fact, the Red Sox this year, when they play a day game after a loss in the previous game, they are 7-1 straight up, 7-1 on the run line. That has to be one of the sneakiest best bets of the season. The only loss they had this year in a day game following a loss was in Minnesota against the Twins. That was against Pablo Lopez. They lost 3-1. Red Sox today are a favorite. Let's just see how the Red Sox have been as a favorite in day games. Red Sox are 6-3 as a favorite in day games, 3-6 on the run line, so the run line might not be as good. But taking a look at the market really quick, Brewers, Red Sox are getting the tickets, Red Sox are getting the money. I would go Red Sox on the money line really quick. We'll dive into a few more trends, but Red Sox on the money line get my attention. Nick Pivetta on the mound for the Sox. Nick Pivetta. By the way, I'm from Boston, and no one says Sox. They say Sox. Sox. They don't say Sox. It's too low. Doesn't work. Like, I went to a Sox game. It's kind of a Sox. It's a higher. Sox. They don't say that. It's ridiculous. That's how you know when someone's not from Boston, when they go, Sox. No. Going to the Sox game. All right. Anyways, Nick Pivetta at home this year. A little bit of tutorial on a Boston accent. Nick Pivetta has only pitched one game at home this year. He did win that game against the Rays. How about when Pivetta has pitched regardless of location so far this year? Red Sox are 3-2 straight up, 2-3 on the run line. Under has gone 4-1. Colin Rea on the mound for the Brewers. How have they done when he's been on the bump? Colin Rea so far this year, 6-3 in his start, 6-3 on the run line. Over under, favoring the over at 6-3. Little dicey. How about the Red Sox when they face a right-handed starter after a loss at home this year? Very specific. Red Sox are 5-3 straight up in that scenario. They've won 4 of their last 5, kind of like that. How about the Brewers? Brewers against a right-handed starter on the road after a win. Brewers are 10-7 straight up, 10-7 on the run line, but they've lost their last 4 in a row. I'm not going to bet the total in this game. The weather for Brewers and Red Sox is favoring the over, plus 8% on runs being scored. I'm going to take Red Sox on the money line. That's what I'm going to put up on the big board. Red Sox on the money line. Let's take a look at some player prop bets for this game. Really quick. Brewers, Red Sox. Anybody we like for this one? Against Nick Pivetta. Gary Sanchez, William Contreras, both have good stats. So does Christian Yelich. Can we get Christian Yelich over half a hit? Christian Yelich over half a hit is not available. William Contreras, assuming he's not available over half a hit, given his amazing season so far, not available. About the Red Sox side of things, against Colin Rea, Tyler O'Neill, 1-for-1 lifetime with a home run. Kind of interesting there. There's not a lot of value on this market. Tyler O'Neill over half a hit, but he's failed to get a hit in 3 straight games. So far this year, Tyler O'Neill has never had 4 games without a hit. Unfortunately, he hadn't gone 3 games without a hit until yesterday. But Tyler O'Neill against a right-handed starter, the most games he's gone this year without a hit is 2. Those were the last 2 games played at home. He has not gone 2 games this year against a right-handed starter without a hit. I know I bet it yesterday and it failed. I'm going to go back to the well on this. Tyler O'Neill over half a hit. I'm going back to the well on it. He's 1-for-1 lifetime against Colin Rea with a home run. Not saying he hits a home run today, but I will take him over half a hit. Scott, I do like the Bryce Harper over 1.5 bases. That's a good find, buddy. Good find. D. Oliver, Celtics minus 7.5, Oilers money line, Panthers money line. Rooting for you, bud. Rooting for you. Love the parlay. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys love the content, love the show. DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports. DM me on Instagram if you want to get every bet that I make every day. They're free every day. I never charge for them. Oh, my bad, Chase Green. My bad. I never charge for my picks. They're never behind a paywall. I never delete them. I never hide them. I give away my picks for free because my attitude is you guys work hard for your money. You guys shouldn't be paying somebody for sports picks. You should be putting your money towards sports bets if you want to do it. So I give away my picks for free. All of my picks are based on data, trends, analytics, matchups, weather, officiating, whatever information I can get my hands on. So you guys know I am a nerd. I am a nerd. I love data. I love quantitative analysis. Whether it's the stock market, whether it's businesses, whether it's sports, whatever. I love data. I love studying data and trying to get good analysis out of it. So it's funny when you guys are like, your picks suck. I hate your picks. You always pick wrong. You guys are really just talking about what we're saying based on data. I'm not saying data is always accurate. Make sure you hear that. There is a reason that there hasn't been a 56-game hitting streak since Joe DiMaggio. Just because someone hits 16 days in a row doesn't mean they're going to hit the next 16 days in a row. Sports betting is always risky. Always be careful with your money. Don't place a bet unless you have a high conviction level behind it. But the bets that I give out, the picks that I give out are based on the research that I do. Do I know enough about sports betting to do this without research? No. So I research the market every day. How is the money coming down? How are the tickets being bet? What's the matchup, whether it's in pitcher-hitter matchups, whether it's in team matchups, what's the weather, what's the umpire, what's the history after these teams come off a win, off a loss, when they're a favorite, when they're an underdog, when they've come off an overplay, when they've come off an underplay. We just try to find as much data as possible. And just to complete the thought, I don't just want one thing pointing me in a direction. I don't just want one compass saying that's north. When we do our research, we're looking for a constellation of variables. 4, 5, 6 things that all point in the same direction going, that team's going to win. That game's going to go under. That player's going to score a certain number of points. So we're not just looking for one thing that confirms our thinking or points us in a direction. We want a series of things so that when we do it, our conviction level is higher, we feel more confident in it, and that way we can feel good about it when we place the bet. That's a little bit of understanding about how I go about my work every day. Again, DM me on Instagram if you want every bet that I make, regardless of the sport, regardless of the type of bet, available for free every day. let's recap the picks we've given out during the show. So in case any of you guys miss any of the picks, here are the picks we've given out during the show, okay? Listen up, everybody. We have Giants plus 1.5. Giants plus 1.5. We have the Cubs on the money line, but if you're looking for a parlay play, we also like Cubs plus 1.5. We have Cubs and Cardinals under 9.5. Cubs, Cardinals under 9.5. We have the Pirates plus 2.5. Again, parlay play. Pirates plus 2.5 in a parlay. We like Blue Jays on the money line. We like Blue Jays and Tigers under 9.5. We like Phillies on the money line. We like Phillies minus 1.5. We like Phillies and Rockies, yes to a run in the first inning. Phillies and Rockies under 12.5. We like the Athletics plus 2.5, but in a parlay. Athletics plus 2.5, but in a parlay. And we like Red Sox on the money line. Player prop bets that we like. Dansby Swanson over half a hit. Dansby Swanson over half a hit. We like Nolan Arenado over half a hit. We like Bryce Harper over half an RBI. Bryce Harper over half an RBI. And we've got Tyler O'Neill over half a hit. One last one for you for basketball. We like TJ McConnell over half a block, over half a steal. So TJ McConnell over half a block plus a steal. Make sure you guys DM me on Instagram. If you miss any of the bets that I'm giving out, DM me on Instagram. We give them away for free every single day, regardless of the sport, the type of bet. They're always available on the SHARPZ app. SHARPZ is like a bulletin board for sports bettors. Every bet that I make on my own automatically gets posted on SHARPZ, so I can't hide them. I can't delete them. They're available for you guys to see every single day. We usually hit individual picks at around a 67% clip. Now, SHARPZ includes our parlays as well. We usually hit all of our bets around a 54-55% clip, which actually, if you guys do this, is pretty good, because if you're betting parlays, very hard to hit over 50% when you're including parlays. So if you guys are like, oh, he doesn't hit it like 80%, yeah, anyone who tells you they hit it 80% is full of poop. They're full of shit. They are a liar. If they're hitting at 80%, they're not really sports betting. When you're hitting around 65% on individual bets, that's actually amazingly good. So I'm not going to say I could do this for a living, but there's a reason we follow data. There's a reason that we do what we do based on trends, data, analytics, information, matchups, and everything like that. Can you go over the rundown one more time? I don't have a paper and pen. Pizza Pie Guy. For you, we will do it. Tommy, my handle on Instagram is the same as on TikTok, Butt Fumble Sports. DM me on Instagram, Butt Fumble Sports. Yes, I really did start a company called Butt Fumble Sports. DM me on Instagram. I'll give away all of my picks for free. All of my picks for free. By the way, Dan Lee Dance is right. If someone's hitting at 80%, first of all, they're probably hired by like a sports book or something. They probably are like a bookmaker at a certain point. And additionally, you're not getting access to them too frequently. They're going to be pretty expensive. Anyways, here's a recap on all the picks we've given out so far during the show. Again, MLB first. Giants plus 1.5. I'm going to go faster this time because we already did this. Giants plus 1.5. Cubs on the money line, but Cubs plus 1.5 for a parlay play. Cubs and Cardinals under 9.5. Pirates plus 2.5 for a parlay play. Blue Jays on the money line. Blue Jays Tigers under 9.5. Phillies on the money line for a parlay play, but Phillies minus 1.5. That could be a bet on its own. I like Phillies and Rockies, yes to a run in the first inning. I like Phillies and Rockies under 12.5 runs. Phillies Rockies under 12.5 runs, put that into a parlay. I like Athletics plus 2.5, put that into a parlay. I like Red Sox on the money line, and some player prop bets I like. Dansby Swanson over half a hit. Nolan Arenado over half a hit. Bryce Harper over half an RBI. Tyler O'Neill over half a hit, and TJ McConnell over half a block plus a steal. We've got some more work to do, everybody, though. Next game we're going to be focusing on is the Royals and the Rays. A couple of people were asking about Royals-Rays. We called that game correct yesterday. We had the Royals getting a win yesterday. When they are coming off a win the previous day, they're on the road in a day game. The straight up and the run line, not as interesting. 3 and 4 straight up, 4 and 3 on the run line. Here's what is interesting. When the Royals won the previous day, they're on the road and they're playing in a day game. The under is 5-0-2. So the under's been a very good play under this scenario. Really quick, Brady Singer on the mound for the Royals. How have they done in his start so far this year? 7 and 3 straight up, 6 and 4 on the run line, 6 and 4 favoring the over. So the under not getting as much love there. How about Aaron Savali pitching for the Rays? When he's been on the mound, Rays are 4 and 6 straight up, 5 and 5 on the run line, 6 and 4 favoring the over. How about when Savali has been at home? Aaron Savali at home, 3 and 2. No, okay, nothing there. How about when Brady Singer has been on the road this year? So far in his starts, 1 and 2 straight up, 1 and 2 on the run line. Nothing there. Let's take a look at the Rays. When the Rays are coming off a loss, they're at home and they're playing a day game. Hasn't happened this year. Wow. How about when they're coming off a loss and they play at home? Oh, that's why. It did happen this year. I just typed in the wrong thing. Okay, when the Rays are coming off a loss at home in a day game this year, the Rays are 3 and 0 straight up. Rays have not lost this year after a loss at home in a day game. How about after a loss at home overall? 8 and 8 straight up, 6 and 10 on the run line. They've actually lost 4 straight games after a loss at home. They've lost 5 of their last 6. The market is favoring the Royals on the money line. Interesting to note that. Based on what we're seeing, early returns show that the Royals might be a good play. Royals against a right-handed starter on the road. Royals are 8 and 9 straight up. How about when they're coming off a win the previous game? 5 and 8 straight up, 5 and 8 on the run line. The under's been a better play. Flip it around. How about the Rays? When the Rays have faced a right-handed starter after a loss at home, Rays are 4 and 7 straight up. The Rays are 2 and 9 on the run line. When they face a right-handed starter after a loss at home, they've lost their last 5 games in a row, 6 of their last 7. I kind of like the Royals. Here's the thing, though. I take Royals plus 1.5. The Royals are an underdog in this game. They really shouldn't be. I feel like the Royals could easily be favored in this game. So Royals right now, I would take the Royals plus 1.5 and have no qualms about it. Royals plus 1.5. Maybe you put it into a parlay because the odds are minus 210. But Royals plus 1.5 is a good bet. If you told me the Royals won, wouldn't be shocked. So Royals money line, given the return, not a bad bet. Minus 105. Something to consider, everybody. Just something to put out there. Just letting you know. Just letting you know. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are loving the content, loving the show. Make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you subscribe. That way you never miss a time when we go live. I am so grateful to have all of you guys watching the show. Next game we're going to get to, we don't have too much time left in the show. We're going to do as much work as we can, but we got to close up with enough time to place all these bets we've been researching. We don't want to miss on them, obviously. Next game we're going to focus on Dodgers and Reds. Now, we got one thing right. We got one thing right yesterday about this game, one thing wrong. We thought the Dodgers would win yesterday. That didn't happen. But we thought this game would go over its run total. Oh boy, did it ever. Let's take a look at this game in terms of the weather really quick. This game, really high likelihood of runs. The likelihood of home runs in this game is up 34%. That's the best across all of baseball. Likelihood of runs up overall up 15%. So we are very much thinking about offense in this Dodgers and Reds game. When the Dodgers are coming off a loss and they're on the road this year, the Dodgers so far this year after a loss on the road, 6 and 1 straight up, 6 and 1 on the run line. The only loss they suffered was yesterday. Part of the reason we bet on the Dodgers is this had been such a good trend. Such a good trend. Hasn't happened often this year that they've lost on the road after a loss, only once this year. So kind of interesting there. How about the Reds? when the Reds are coming off a win at home, 3-7 straight up, 3-7 on the run line. Early returns has us favoring the Dodgers. Dodgers on the mound for the Reds today is Hunter Greene, a right-handed starter. When the Dodgers face a right-handed starter on the road so far this year, Dodgers are 7-7 straight up, 7-7 on the run line. Wish it were a little bit better. How about when they're coming off a loss in the previous game? 3-1 straight up. Obviously, the one loss was yesterday. How about the Reds? Reds are facing a right-handed starter as well. When they are coming off a win at home and facing a right-handed starter, they are 2-3 straight up. Let's take a look at these starting pitchers. Walker Buehler on the mound for the Dodgers. Not a lot of stats we could take from him because he's only made 3 starts. He is 2-1 in those starts. One of those starts, the last start that he made was against the Reds. Really quick, when Walker Buehler has faced the Reds in his career, he is 3-4 straight up, 2-5 on the run line. The under is 5-2. Kind of interesting there. He has not pitched well against the Reds. How about on the other side? Hunter Greene is on the mound for the Reds. Hunter Greene this year, the Reds are 2-8 in his starts, 3-7 on the run line. The under is 6-3-1. Kind of interesting to note there. I'm just going to make it simple. I'm going to take Dodgers on the money line. Dodgers on the money line. I will put it up on the big board. I don't think they lose back-to-back games. When they have faced a right-handed starter the previous day, and they lost, when they faced a right-handed starter and they lost the previous game, Dodgers are 7-3 straight up, 7-3 on the run line. I'd like the Dodgers to get this win, everybody. Dodgers to get the win. Someone's asking about Freddie Freeman. Do we like Freddie Freeman to get a hit? Don't worry, I'll answer that Volpe question in a moment. Who do we like on the Dodgers to get a hit? Freddie Freeman has just a .222 average against Hunter Greene in 9 career at-bats. Not as good as I would like. In fact, the hitter I like the most in this game is Jonathan India, I think. Not really. Not too many hitters I actually like in that game. Not going to touch it. Someone's asking about Anthony Volpe. If Anthony Volpe over half a hit is available, I feel like at this point you almost need to bet it every single day. This hitting streak of his continues. He has a hit in 17 straight games. Just incredibly impressive. He is facing a right-handed starter today. Anthony Volpe has a hit in 18 of his last 20 games against a right-handed starter. Specifically on the road, Anthony Volpe has a hit in 7 straight games against a right-handed starter on the road. 13 of his last 20. He is facing Dylan Cease. In his career, 0-for-1 lifetime against Dylan Cease. So maybe that's a reason to avoid it, but I don't dislike it that much. One player I do like, though, Anthony Rizzo. Anthony Rizzo has good numbers against Dylan Cease. So let's look up Anthony Rizzo for a player prop bet. We're looking up Anthony Rizzo over half a hit against a right-handed starter. He has a hit in 4 of his last 10 games. Not great. On the road, 3 of his last 10. Not great. Head-to-head against the Padres. Nah. Nothing we like here. Anthony Rizzo over half a hit I would take, but I'm not going to put it up on the big board. Guys, it is 12:37. Is there any other game that I want to dive into? Let's look at this Yankees and Padres game. I'll look at that. Yankees are somehow an underdog in this one. So when the Yankees are coming off a win and they are a road dog, it's only happened 7 times this year. Really good trends on this, everyone. Really good trends. The Yankees, after a win, have been a road underdog 7 times. They're 5-2 straight up. They're 5-2 on the run line. The under is 6-0-1. Make sure you hear that. The under has actually been a very, very good play, and the weather is favoring the under as well. Likelihood of home runs down 10% in San Diego because of the weather. Likelihood of overall runs down 13% because of the weather. So the under is getting my attention. How about the Padres? Padres coming off a loss, playing at home the next game. 7-10 straight up, 5-12 on the run line. Over slightly better at 10-7. How about when they're a home favorite after a loss? 7-8 straight up, 5-10 on the run line. The over is 9-6. Now the Yankees, when they are coming off a win, facing a right-handed starter the next day, Yankees so far this year are 19-7 in that scenario. How about when this has been on the road? When they played on the road after a win, they face a right-handed starter. 10-4 straight up, 9-4 on the run line. Under is 9-3-1. Yankees money line in the under getting my attention. Right now, the total for this game is set at 7.5. I don't like that. I would take the under 8.5. Yeah, I take the under 8.5. I do like the Yankees right now. The only issue, let's take a look at the starters. Let's take a look at Marcus Stroman. Marcus Stroman, so far this year in his starts, Yankees are 6-4. The under is 7-3. How about when he's on the road? Marcus Stroman and the Yankees are 4-0 when he pitches on the road. Yankees are 4-0 on the run line when he pitches on the road. How about when Stroman's been an underdog this year? Yankees are 3-0 straight up. Yankees are 3-0 on the run line. Love that for Yankees on the money line. Flipping it around for you guys. Dylan Cease. He has made 10 starts this year. 6-4 straight up. 7-3 on the run line. 5-5 splitting the over-under. How about when Cease pitches at home? 1-3 straight up. 1-3 on the run line. You can put it on the board. Yankees on the money line, guys. I'm not going to touch the over-under. I feel like the under is a good play at under 9.5, under 9. But that said, Yankees on the money line, that's what we're going with. Do we have time for one more bet? Let's do it. Diamondbacks and Marlins. Time for one more bet, everybody. Diamondbacks, Marlins. Let's take a look at it. Marlins got a surprise win yesterday. They're a road dog today. When they are coming off a win and they're a road dog, they're 2-6 straight up, 3-5 on the run line. The under is 5-2-1. They have won their last 2 games under this scenario, but they had lost their previous 6. Diamondbacks as a home favorite, coming off a loss in the previous game, 7-2 straight up. Diamondbacks certainly what we like as of right now. How about when the Marlins are facing a left-handed starter after a win on the road? So far this year, Marlins are 0-3 straight up, 0-3 on the run line in that scenario. Flip it around. When the Diamondbacks face a right-handed starter after a loss at home, how have they done? 6-3 straight up. Interesting. Really quick, let's take a look at how Jordan Montgomery has pitched in Arizona right now, or so far this year. 2-1 straight up. How has he done overall this year? 4-2 straight up. On the other side of things for the Marlins, Sixto Sanchez is on the mound. Sixto Sanchez, his starts this year. Oh, Sixto, not Sixton. Sixto Sanchez, he has made 5 starts this year, 2-3 straight up, 3-2 on the run line. When he's pitched on the road, 1-2 straight up, 3-0 on the run line. So kind of interesting there. I'm going to take Diamondbacks on the money line, everybody. Diamondbacks on the money line. That is the final pick we're going to put up on the big board, everybody. So all of our picks are now on the big board. If you missed any of the picks during the show, DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports. DM me on Instagram. We give away all of our picks for free. We're going to input these picks right now and share them all with you. So jump on over to Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports. DM me on Instagram to get every bet that I just made during our hour and 45-minute show. It has been a long show. I hope you guys enjoyed every single second of it. We started live at around 11 o'clock, and now here we are at 12:45, 12:42, getting ready for the sports day. If you missed any of my picks, DM me on Instagram, Butt Fumble Sports. DM me. I'll give away my picks for free. Never charge for them. Never behind a paywall. I hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday. I hope you guys enjoy all of our content. Make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're with us every time we go live. I will be live tomorrow morning around the same time, 11:30. We'll be live pretty early again tomorrow because there's day baseball. So make sure you follow. Make sure you subscribe. That way you can join us again when we are live tomorrow and can enjoy a full Sunday of sports action. Hope you guys have a wonderful holiday weekend. So grateful for all of you guys watching the show. Can't wait to do it again tomorrow. Hope you stay healthy. Hope you stay safe. And have a wonderful day, everybody. See you later. Goodbye.